Hi everyone, this is my first YouTube video. I'm just wanted to do a quick summer transfer review of what I think should happen at Anfield. I'm a big Liverpool fan, so let's go straight to it. So, goalkeepers. Started off the season with Simon Mignolet in goal. Has been constantly making errors in his time at Anfield. He's had strong periods where he's made good saves and had good performances, and then he's had big costly errors which have cost us in the big games and ultimately cost us trophies, really. So obviously Karius came in sort of start of the year, has done well. Happily sort of have him as a backup, but I think really going forward we need to have a strong goalkeeper, the likes of De Gea, Courtois, Lloris, if we want to be competing for the Premier League. Made the Champions League final this year. Karius is more than capable on form. He does have that error in him. He seems to come out a little bit gung-ho at times. Obviously giving away the penalty against Roma. He just comes out a little bit too extreme for me and is a little bit of a liability at times. So I'd say Simon Mignolet definitely sell. He wants first team football. He's not getting it at Liverpool. I think he needs to move on. Karius, I'd say happily keep him for backup. Someone like Jan Oblak is the kind of calibre Liverpool need. Other than that, you've got Donnarumma at Milan, again, would be good. Or the Alisson from Roma has been linked strongly again. Looked good in the game against Liverpool. He let in 5 in the first leg, but the second leg he made some good saves, and he does look like a strong goalkeeper. So yeah, that would be the goalie situation. Side note, Danny Ward, not sure why we kept him the whole season in the reserves. Completely wasted time for both. He needs to go out on loan at least next season, otherwise he's just going to fall away. Moving up into defence, starting at left back. Started again last season. We had James Milner at left back, was brilliant. Moreno came in this season at the start. We all knew he wasn't good enough. He proved that against Sevilla. 3-0 up. Drew 3-3 mainly because of him making errors. We all know as Liverpool fans he's just not good enough for Liverpool. Going forward he's quite strong, but at the back he is very, very suspect. So Moreno needs to be sold. Andrew Robertson, been a breath of fresh air, has been amazing. Plays kind of like I think a Liverpool fan would play if they got in the team. Just gives it his all. Picked up his first goal in the last game of the season. Has took that left back shirt and has made it his own. So happily have him there. Injuries wise, if Robertson would get injured, Milner I think would be okay to step in. But realistically, I think we need to have 2 left backs. I would probably look at someone like Rafael Guerreiro from Dortmund. I think he'd be available. There's 1 or 2 in Europe as well that would definitely be good backup, or even a first choice left back for us. So yeah, left back needs strengthening. Moreno out, Robertson in. In terms of right back, a little bit sport for choice at the moment. We've got 3 really. I mean, I personally don't think Joe Gomez is a fullback. I think he's played there a number of times this season. He's been injured lately, but start of the season, middle of the season, I think he doesn't quite suit the positioning of a fullback. He doesn't tend to look over his shoulder. People like Sanchez have snuck in at the back post for tap-ins. So I definitely keep Gomez, but as a centre-back, as where he's played for England, he's looked strong. So I think centre-back wise, Gomez keep. Obviously Klein, really difficult season for him, only just really coming back. Top quality, I think he's only 26-ish, so he's got years left of him. Happily have him as fighting for the right back shirt with Arnold next season, who's been a revelation really. What an amazing season for him. He's now in the England squad for the World Cup. May even start in the first game, so what an amazing season he's had at just 19. So yeah, Arnold and Klein all the way for right backs. In terms of centre backs, Van Dijk has been amazing. A lot of people will say 75 million is too much. In terms of what Liverpool could get at the time in January that they needed, he was the best out there that was available. He cost a little bit more, but I'd rather pay that little bit extra to get someone that's going to be, you know, maybe even a future captain of Liverpool, and he's going to be in that first team for the next 5-6 years. So £75 million, is a lot. Van Dijk is brilliant, and one of the main reasons we've come in the top four and are in the Champions League final, really. The big question is who we're playing against alongside him next season. We've had Joel Matip has kind of been in and out with Lovren all season. Neither of them convinced me. Dejan Lovren is okay against the weaker teams. He can pop up in the box with heading goals like he did against Brighton, but overall, as soon as he comes up against any quality, any speed, any strength, people like Lukaku win every header, knock it down to attackers, and we concede. So Dejan Lovren for me is not good enough and needs to be sold. He's done okay in the Champions League this season, but going forward, if we want to win a Premier League title, we need another centre-back like Van Dijk. Lovren is not. So he would be out for me. Joel Matip, again, hasn't convinced. He looks okay at times, and then he gets injured for long periods of time and kind of loses any momentum he's built up and any form. So again, probably keep him for backup next season with Gomez, but I would say we need a new centre-back. Not that many choices out there, to be fair. Alderweireld would be good for me. I think he's 29. Knows the Premier League. He'd go straight into the team comfortably. Probably be about 30, 40, 50 mil, somewhere in that range. I'd happily have him. Kind of a short-term fix, really. 25, 30, 31, 32, maybe 3-4 years. Another one was De Vrij. I looked at Lazio, available on the free transfer, but it looks like he's going to Inter Milan, which is a shame, as he is Van Dijk's centre-back partner for Holland, so that would have been a good one. De Ligt, not sure if I pronounced that correctly, plays for Ajax. I think he's about 18, 17 even, so maybe one for the future, but not probably right now. So my choice would be Alderweireld for next season. Good solid centre-back partnership with Matip and Gomez as backup, really. Swiftly moving on into the midfield, just looking through the Football Manager roster so I don't forget anybody. Start with captain, Jordan Henderson. For me, I've always doubted him. I've never really got behind him as captain. He doesn't really bring anything to the team for me. I don't think he's very strong. I don't think he's great at tackling. He doesn't score any goals. I don't think his passing's particularly good. It's very sideways, backwards, and he's got a lot of errors in him. He talks a good game. He organises everyone, but I don't really think he does it himself. Sometimes he has good patches. He'll score good goal maybe twice a season, and everyone will remember it for the next 6 months. And he kind of lives off that. So for me, a bit overrated. I think Liverpool can do a lot better than Henderson in centre midfield. So for me, I would sell. People are going to hate, but I don't rate him personally enough. Emre Can, rate him a lot. He's a very, very, very good player. Unfortunately, this season, it looks like he's going to be leaving, as he's not signed that contract, as everybody knows, for Juventus, which for me is an odd one. Joining, obviously, a successful team in their own country, but in Europe, they got to the Champions League final, so with Liverpool. You know, Buffon is retiring this season. Chiellini, Barzagli, getting old. Bonucci has left. I don't think they're really a club on the up, so I'm not too sure where the decision to join Juventus from Liverpool is going, to be honest. If he wants a change of scenes, then fair enough, but big shame that we should have tied him down to a bigger contract at the start of the season, so looks like he's off. However, Naby Keita coming in, looks like a more than capable replacement, so I'm not too bothered there. Not seen a great deal of him, to be honest with you. I've heard a lot of good reviews. I'm excited to see him in the midfield next year. James Milner, I love the guy. Absolutely superb. He can do it all. Mr. Basic. He scores the pens. Plays the passes. Top Champions League assists of all time now in a season. What more do you need to say about that? England are going to miss him in the summer, especially with the Ox out. So for me, he should be going to the World Cup. Southgate should be ringing him at least for an answer. He's been absolutely superb, and he can play in about 6 different positions. So James Milner, keep, would be my captain currently, or vice captain if you were to promote Van Dijk to captain would be my ultimate choice. So yeah, keep Milner, sell Henderson. Chan is leaving. Keita coming in. Wijnaldum, love the guy again. Really, really strong. surge in runs. He's a really good player, really good. He needs to improve on his goal scoring. He did score his first away goal recently for I think Liverpool or Newcastle away to Roma. But love the guy. Definitely keep him in that team in the 11. Obviously, I mentioned the Ox started his Liverpool career struggling, to be honest, which is understandable when you've played for the same club, Arsenal, for was it 5 years now, probably something like that. In a team really hasn't been going anywhere other than backwards. So I think he's been playing right wing back, right wing, and clearly he was a centre midfielder all along. He's been fantastic the latter part of this season. What a shame he got that injury at home in the Champions League. Massive shame. Going to really miss him in the final, but one for the future, one for now. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, for sure, keep in that 11. Another one, Adam Lallana. Now he has been really struggling this season with obviously injury. For sure, he was a good player. He's close to 30 now. Every time he comes back, he doesn't seem to get a chance to pick up that form because he gets another long-term injury straight away. Personally, even when he's fit and firing, I don't think he is that brilliant anymore. I think he has passed his best now. I think we can do better than him, and I think we need to. I know Nabil Fekir has been linked, kind of fill the void of Coutinho leaving as that attacking midfield / attacking front three role. He would be brilliant. I'd really like to see Fekir join the club. 60 million has been rumoured, but yeah, for me, Lallana's time is up. Unfortunately, I do like the guy, but he's not proved his worth this season, and I think looking into next year, there's better players available than him that we can get in our team. So for me, Lallana would leave. I think that's all the midfield. Striker-wise, obviously / wingers. The front three says it all. 89, 90 goals this season between them. Salah, wow, what can you say about him? Don't really need to say any more. It's player of the season. There you go. Roberto Firmino, kind of a false nine at the start. Plays the Klopp way with that kind of closing down, high pressure from the front. He's been fantastic. Started to bang in the goals, and now, honestly, for me, other than Kane, probably the best striker in the Premier League. I can't think of anyone any better. I'd rather have him over Morata and Giroud. Aubameyang is looking good, probably on a par with Firmino in current form, but obviously he has only done it since that February. I think he came into the Arsenal team. Lacazette is very hot and cold. When he's on it, he scores. When he's not, he goes long times without scoring. Lukaku has done okay. He's done well, but for me, other than Kane, as I say, Firmino would be unlucky not to be in the team of the season, to be honest with you, apart from Kane's goals, -1 that he didn't actually score. Firmino would be in that team of the season. So yeah, Mane, not quite as good as he was last year, player of the season before, the one that's just happened. Seems to he does score the goals, can't argue with that. Seems to kind of pass when he should shoot and shoots when he should pass. I think a little bit of jealousy towards Salah is fair, African Player of the Year and all that. But yeah, as a front three, no complaints there. Only thing I would say with that front three is injury or subs, because as soon as we change that front three, we are not lethal. We are not looking dangerous at all. That front three together, arguably the best front three in the world this season. As soon as one of them are taken off or one is going to be injured, we've been lucky. None of them have had a long-term injury. So I think backup is needed. As Dominic Solanke, bless him, he does try. He's not good enough for Liverpool, let's be honest with you. I mean, he could be, he needs to go out on loan minimum to a West Ham, a Brighton, a Huddersfield, and have a season starting every game. Or if not, maybe we need to move him on, because he's not young. I'm not sure how old he is, but he's definitely not teens. Same with Danny Ings, very unlucky with injuries, but even top form and firing, he's not getting in that front three for me. So he needs to be sold on as well. Ben Woodburn, massive shame that he's not featured more this season. He featured more in the 16-17 season and looked good. Has featured for Wales, but this season has barely featured at all. Mainly because of injury at times, but mainly he's played in the under-23s. I think he needs a loan. He needs to go to a Wolves or one of them kind of Newcastle kind of teams. Just play week in, week out, and just get game time and play, really. One for the future for sure. As I say, we need backup for that front three that are actually going to sort of trouble them for a place. So when the likes of Mane are in bad form, the likes of Salah needs a rest rather than playing 60 games a season, and Firmino coming off 60, 70 minutes after putting a shift in. Personally, Wilfried Zaha would be a no-brainer. Crystal Palace would be relegated without him, let's be honest. Superb player. Didn't quite work out at Man United for him, but he's definitely a top 6 player for me. Shame he didn't play for England, but yeah, Zaha, 50 mil I think would do that. Yeah, I think he'd be more than happy to join. Other options, Dembele has been mentioned for Barcelona. Not sure how true that is, bearing in mind the amount of money Barcelona spent on him. I can't see them letting him go for much less than that, and I can't see Liverpool spending over 100 million on Dembele, so not sure on that one. In terms of a sort of striker, an out-and-out striker, I think Mauro Icardi would be, again, a fantastic choice. Scored loads and loads of goals in Serie A this season. We'll be going to the World Cup with Argentina. I'm not too sure why that was 50-50 with Dybala, because they are the two best players in Serie A for me. So yeah, a lot of people have mentioned that he's got his troubles off the pitch, but for me, I think Klopp arm round him would be fine. Him and Firmino up top, switching all together would be lethal. So I would like to see Icardi come in. I think 60 mil. I don't think Inter are going anywhere. I don't think they're in the Champions League. I think they may have had a game, the last game of the season, see if they could sneak that to 4th spot. But really, as a worldwide club, Inter Milan are not in the top bracket anymore. Liverpool clearly are trying to be there. Champions League final, top 4 again. I think he'd be a good addition to the squad. Yeah, let me have a quick look at the reserves. Anyone notable in there? Let's have a look. I mentioned Danny Ward. There's a few people out on loan for Liverpool. Divock Origi, another forgotten man. Wasn't cheap. He's still young and has been ridiculed for his performances with Wolfsburg this season, as he's purely not good enough. Needs to be sold. If we can get back 10, 5, I would take it. Daniel Sturridge, I'm not too sure how he's still at Liverpool. I mean, last game I saw him play well was the Europa League final against Sevilla at the end of the season before last. Other than that, we all know he's had his injuries. He's been living off that Suarez SAS season for a few years now. He's not shone at West Brom at all, which is not difficult, let's be honest. Injury after injury, he needs to be sold. If we can get 15, 10 again, he should be gone, and all that money we can put towards improving the backup. As I say, our 11, when fully fit, is good. Defence maybe needs an improvement, but midfield attack-wise, difficult to argue with our team. But yeah, we need to get some subs, as that sub bench, especially in the latter part of the season, has been poor, with the likes of Chan, Lallana, Chamberlain, Matip, Klein, all struggling with injuries. A couple of other worth mentioning. Markovic, well, I say worth mentioning, probably the least amazing Liverpool player in history. Just needs to be sold. He's still on the wage bill somehow. He's been loaned out to about 5 to 6 different teams, and it's not worked out for him. So he needs to be sold. Marko Grujic, sold. Flanagan, shame that it's not worked out. Sell. Yeah, other than that, I think that is about a wrap. I'll be posting some more videos about Liverpool in the future. Come on, Kiev. See you soon. I've been Adam Tompkins. Cheers.